Welcome to this month's presentation. Don't miss out on any of our club updates or exciting content. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Facebook. By joining our online communities, you'll stay informed about upcoming events, technical tips, and club news. Check out our website for more details. Subscribe and follow today so you never miss a moment of our growing amateur radio adventures. Now, back to our program.
Well, good evening, everybody. This is Bill, sometimes called Bill number 9. I'm K5LK, located in Brookshire. And tonight, we're going to have the kickoff meeting for the Crossroads CW group. And we think it's going to be a pretty neat group. We got this going. Mr. Kelly will be one of our presenters tonight, AE5II. We had discussed it, probably a year ago, about starting a CW group, and just for numerous reasons we didn't get it going. But on a Thursday night net in April, when I was net control, I think it was April the 30th, that was our topic of discussion. Are you a CW operator? And if not, would you like to learn CW? And so we, out of our 50 check-ins, we had about 25 people that were interested in CW. Either they were already practicing CW or they had an interest in learning it. So we sent out some requests in the newsletter that Mr. Bill, W5ITZ, does great. We got some interest, and here we are tonight. Okay, well, thank you very much. Again, this is Bill, K5LK. I'll be kind of the hosting tonight for our CW group. I got we'll talk about it, do the introduction. But again, this is the kickoff meeting for TechNet number 32, the Crossroads Ham Radio Club. And I mentioned earlier in the chat the presentation, if you want to download it and you're close to a computer or on your phone, just go to the Crossroads website, CRHRC.org, look for TechNet, and you just go to the TechNet page on Crossroads and look under dates and topics, and it'll be the one right at the top. We're TechNet number 32, so it's CRHRC.org. Look for the TechNet, and then you can download number 32 or put it on your phone, whatever. It's a PDF file. Okay, the next slide here, slide number 2, our agenda for tonight. We're going to have introductions from our leadership team. Then we're going to talk a little bit about the history of CW. If you haven't maybe looked into that, if you are a ham now, or even not a ham, it's got a very unique history going back to the 1800s. It kind of blows me away. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. And more importantly, why CW now? CW continuous wave or Morse code's definitely got a place in our hobby and still is a great backup communication. So we're going to talk about that as well. We're going to give a quick overview of the CW group. Since that April 30th meeting, our group's been meeting, probably had about 4 meetings, and have kind of put a framework in going here. We'll talk about that. But most importantly, we're going to have a Q&A and then the meeting recap. We want to hear the feedback from the people that are on this net tonight. So we look forward to it here over the next few minutes. Okay, this is our current CW group leadership team. Mr. Kelly, AE5II. Mr. Bill, K9IKK, and we kind of joke with him. He's Bill 4.5, and he's located in the Houston area. Mr. Jerry, WR5G, is another one of our leaders. Unfortunately, he could not be here tonight. Something came up, but we're going to fill in for him. And yours truly, Bill number 9, K5LK. So let me ID here and turn it over to Mr. Kelly, AE5II from K5LK.
Well, good evening, Bill, and everybody on the net. This is AE5II. That's did it in CW. And I'm down here in Palacios. I'm about 100 yards off the bay. Been around for a while. First got my license in 77, and didn't really do CW back then. Got back into it about 1988 and finally pounded it into my skull. And later on, fell in love with it and been doing it ever since. So next to do the introductions will be Bill, K9IKK from AE5II.
Thank you, Kelly, and good evening to everybody on Stir Crazy Net tonight. This is Bill, Bill 4.5 to some of you, and K9IKK. I have been ham for, I think it's 45 years, maybe going on 46 now, back to 1980. And back in those days, you had to learn Morse code to get your novice ticket. And once you were a novice, that's all you were allowed to operate was Morse code. So I've been using it for a very long time, and I still love it. It's a fun mode. It can be exciting. You can do a lot with it, and hopefully that's what we'll be able to do here with this group, is to encourage others to learn this fun mode and see what you can do with it. And let's pass it back now to, I guess, bill number 9. Back to you, Bill. This is KA9IKK. Yeah, thank you, Bill. Bill, you got a little white noise on you. Can you maybe move just a little bit or give you a little more power? I'll go ahead and get started here on my quick introduction, and then we'll double check with you, Bill, before we go to the next slide. Again, this is, my name is Bill also, Bill number 9, as we joke around Crossroads, K5LK, located over in Brookshire. And I've been a ham for over 30 years now. And just so happens our net control, Mr. Joe, W5BSA, is the Yelmer, and he got me into ham radio many, many years ago. And those were the days, as Bill mentioned, if you wanted to get your extra license, you had to learn CW and get on CW. And that's what I did. And I probably made 3 ham radio contacts on CW in my career. But getting to know these guys on this Crossroads CW group, I really want to learn it again. I guess I do know the letters, but I really want to use it to make contacts, and we'll be talking about that in a minute. I'm more kind of this a support for this team. I'm also co-leader of the tech team at Crossroads with Brenda, KJ5ADO. But I have a passion for CW and get this off the ground, so that's where we're at. Let me talk to Bill here again, K9IKK from K5LK. How you sounding there, Bill? Okay, I boosted the power, so I'm hoping this is helping. Over. You betcha. Sound good. All right, we actually will turn it back to you, Bill.
I wanted to take a short break to remind you of the great items available at the CRHRC merchandise store. Show your club pride by purchasing club-branded merchandise. Go to www.crhrc.org/merch. There is also a link in the description below.
And on the next slide here, slide number 4, a little bit about the history of CW. Go ahead, sir, K5LK. Thank you, Bill, and this again is Bill 4.5, K9IKK. Yeah, I just wanted to give a brief history of Morse code. It's almost 200 years old. It goes back to about 1837 when Samuel Morse and Alfred Vail invented the telegraph, and of course they needed a code to go with it. And the impetus for all of that was the fact that Samuel Morse was away from home. His wife had been ill, and she passed away when he was out of town, and they couldn't get word to him for a long time because there was no fast communication back then. So when he got home, unfortunately, his wife was already buried. It was a sad thing, but it led to the invention of the telegraph and the Morse code. Let me let it drop. So after they invented the telegraph, they had to get a code. The original code was just actually just numbers. They didn't have any letters, and they used number groups to reference different words and phrases. But that eventually was replaced by the full Morse code, which includes numbers, letters, and some special characters. And the very first message, I read about this earlier, that the U.S. Congress back at the time gave Morse a grant. I think it was $30,000 or something to put in a telegraph line between D.C. and Baltimore, which they did. And the first message he sent in code was, "What hath got wrought." So kind of the beginnings there. Let me let it drop. Moving forward in time, the code was heavily used for the Civil War, and I remember watching movies of President Lincoln down in the war room, hearing the clicking telegraphs and so forth, all that code. And it's also how a lot of the news agencies started up. I think Reuters and Associated Press, were trying to get news across the country fast, so they all had telegraphs. But that kind of phased out a little bit as time went on. Marconi came along and invented the radio, and so now instead of doing code on telegraph, we could do it over the radio. Let it drop. And of course, then it was great communications for the ships at sea, and of course, our famous Titanic disaster in 1912 is where the SOS distress signal became standardized. There was a couple of different distress signals they were using, but after Titanic, they agreed that SOS would be the international distress signal. Moving forward, code was still used a lot, and until they invented sideband, I guess there was still AM. But going through the years, technology finally got better, and we came into the digital age in about the 1990s, 95. And with the advent of that, Morse code started getting replaced. A lot of the military groups, the Coast Guard decided to not really monitor that much in 95, and then some of the international maritime guys in 99 stopped using the code. Let it drop. So as they started phasing it out, so did the ITU, the International Treaty Union, which sets all the international rules for radio. They discontinued the use of the code requirement back in 2003, and then the U.S. lagged behind a little bit, and in 2007, the FCC no longer required Morse code for the ham radio license. So it's been a while. So you've been licensed after 2007. You've never really had to learn the code, but for some of us old-timers, we still had to do that, and if you're like me, you still enjoy it, and you still love it. So hopefully that gives you a quick, brief overview of the code, and our next slide will be why still use it today if it's no longer really required. Let me let it drop. One of the biggest advantages for Morse code is that it really has a really unmatched signal efficiency. And what this really means is that it takes a lot less power to get a Morse code signal out than it does voice. And the code also uses less bandwidth. A typical sideband signal is about 2.4 kilohertz, and a code signal is about 100, maybe 150 at most hertz. So it's a lot smaller bandwidth, and that helps when conditions are poor. And it can be up to 10 to a 20 dB gain actually for the same amount of power with code. Let me let it drop. clause in there for the repeater ID, which is another thing you'll be able to copy if you learn the code. Let's see. So another great advantage is the portable operation, right? Because code uses less power. If you're going portable and you're on battery power, your batteries will last all day, sometimes several days, with code signals versus having to run sideband the whole time. So it's really great for the POTA operations, the SOTAs, or just going camping, that type of thing. It's also very good when conditions are noisy. The code does penetrate fairly well through noisy conditions. And I've personally experienced this trying to pass radiogram traffic by voice on the HF nets. It was difficult, and we finally agreed to switch to Morse code, and we were able to get the messages through. So it really does punch through. And for emergency communications, again, because it punches through the static, it's good that way. It's also a very simple mode. It doesn't take much for Morse code. Actually, you just need a telegraph key and a battery and a radio and an antenna. You don't need computers like you do for the digital modes. You don't need a lot of other TNCs and those types of things. Just very simple operation. And if your microphone maybe breaks on your radio, you can still use code to get a message out. Some radios allow you to send code with your up and down buttons on the microphone. I've done that before. So a lot of great ways to communicate, like in an emergency situation. And you don't even need a telegraph key. You just can touch the ends of two wires together to make the contact, and that will get the code out. Let me let it drop. Lastly, it's just right now with the resurgence in code, there is a plethora of training materials out there on YouTube, and we have various different Morse code clubs that have started up to help people learn it. It's fun. It's great for contesting. On field day, you get double points if you do code, and it's faster as well. I know with my traffic handling experience, it's a lot faster to send a radiogram on Morse code than it is to sit there and have to read all the words one by one, and hopefully that they're understanding what you're saying correctly. So it's a lot of fun. I hope everybody will learn it and get the same enjoyment that I have out of it. So with that, we're going to pass it back to bill number 9. This is KA9IKK. Thank you, Bill. Excellent presentation there on the history of CW and why it's even relevant today, which it is. And it's really got our leadership group excited. Okay, Mr. Kelly, AE5II, your turn. Give us a little overview here on the what we've been talking about the last month or so and what our plans here for the group are. K5LK. Over to you, Kelly.
Okay, K5LK from AE5II and everybody on the net. Good to have you guys here. We're going to try to do this overview. The reason we're getting together is we want to help other people. We want to give back to the hobby and help other people on their journey. Learning CW is a journey. It can be a lot of fun. It's kind of important to keep it fun because if it's not fun, you're probably not going to learn it. We're here to encourage you and try to give you little tips on things not to do, like the way I did it, starting at 5 words a minute, and then you hit a plateau, and it takes forever to get across that plateau, so we don't want people to do that. We want to be available for you guys. Feel free to reach out to us anytime you need to. We're all on QRZ with our emails. I listen to my radio pretty much from the time I get up until the time I go to bed. We're here for you guys, and we want to keep it fun and There's lots of ways to do it. Some of the first steps for people who haven't done any of it before, you probably know a few letters already. SOS, for example, CQ, little rhythmic things you can pick up before you even know the code. But there's lots of good ways to learn CW these days. Let me reset. The Long Island CW Club is the one I recommend for anybody. They are very good at I call it holding hands. They will be with you and even meet with you on Zoom as you make your first contact to kind of give you a crutch. And if you miss a few letters or something, or if you miss a word, they'll be there. They can hear what you're doing on the radio. Really great group of guys. They meet with you on Zoom, and you can go to their website. And great place. CW Ops is another really good one. If you want to be a contester, that's the place to go. We may get some people from these organizations to meet with us during our 2 monthly meetings. And once you get going, or you can use CW Innovations. They have a bunch of videos on YouTube. The first set of 4 videos are mandatory. You have to watch those first 4 videos. They're not very long, but they give you a lot of information to go with the last couple of videos. That's a real excellent organization. The CW interest form, if anybody hasn't filled that out, go ahead and click on that, and that's on our webpage. Go to CRHRC.org and click on CW Group. And about halfway down the page, you'll find a link to click on that and fill that out. That'll help us know where you're at. And the 4 communication methods, the group web page that I just mentioned, the email list will get going so that you can send an email to everybody. And then we're going to have those 2 Zoom sessions every month, the second and fourth Tuesday, 7 p.m., right here on zoom.crhrc.org. And if anybody needs individual help, feel free to reach out to us, and there's 4 of us. Somebody can get with you on the phone, on Zoom, or whatever we need to do to help you on your journey. I'd like to say welcome to everybody that enjoys the code. It's kind of a secret society, you know, but I really enjoy it, and will for the rest of my life. Anybody, I guess we'll send it back to Bill, K5LK from AE5II.
Okay, Mr. Kelly, good overview of the CW group here as we're moving forward. We've got a little feedback on Zoom. Randy KK5CK, Randy KK5CK, if you could mute your Zoom microphone, we'd sure appreciate it. I think, even though I've got my Zoom microphone muted because I'm on RF here, but some of the people are saying you're getting quite a bit of feedback. So if you can mute your mic, we'd appreciate it. Okay, let's move over to the Q&A. We really like some feedback, and so Joe, W5BSA, and working with Kelly, AE5II, we want to get some comments and feedback on the group, what people have heard so far. So Joe, I'll turn it over to you, and maybe you work with Kelly on that. How's that? W5BSA and AE5II, K5LK.
Thank you very much, Bill. What a great topic tonight for the Crossroads Ham Radio Club monthly TechNet. And we got a bunch of guys that really know what they're doing, trying to spur the interest in CW, again, which stands, to my knowledge, it stands for continuous wave. You make sense of it by leaving us spaces, some short spaces or some very long spaces in between that, and kind of similar to the way hexadecimal code works, what I used to work with anyway. So let's, I'm going to give it a pause here. So far we got 28 check-ins. Some of you have checked in via the Zoom channel, NetLogger, or the RS section of the net. So I'm just going to, just real quick here, I'm going to take just one round of check-ins for tonight's TechNet, and then we're going to open it up for some questions about our topic tonight, the Morse code. So please come now. Always role modeling as we've asked you to do. This is unkey, listen for doubles or triples, and then your call sign phonetically twice. So help me and Gary out. Please come now if you'd like to check in tonight's TechNet. Let's give it one more round of check-ins.
This is Kilo Echo 7, Romeo, Tango Bravo, Andy, Huffman, Texas.
This is Whiskey 5, Bravo, Charlie, Bill. Whiskey 5, Bravo, Charlie.
Whiskey Bravo 5, India, Tango, Tango, WB5ITT.
This is Golf 5, Lima, Alpha, Lima, Waller, Texas.
This is November Kilo, N5LNK, Sean.
This is
Okay, let's hold it right there, and I'll give everybody some more check-ins here. So let's go ahead and get the questions and answers started. And I'm going to start with the first question. Mr. Kelly, would you explain to us what's often called using a straight key versus a keyer, especially or computer code and all that? Tell us the three different ways. You know, the original straight key. What does it mean when people talk about a straight key?
Good question. As you can see on the screen here now, if you're on Zoom, there's a small graphic of a straight key. A straight key is nothing more than a normally open switch, and you can do it with two wires. I've seen homemade ones out of knitting needles and all kinds of things. I saw a guy make one out of the remember the blanks that used to be in the back of the computers when you put cards in them and stuff back in the day? I've seen a guy make a straight key out of those. I've seen them made out of clothespins, but it's normally just a normally open switch, and when you push it down, it keys the radio, and you're transmitting. The other keys, that one's straight key is known as a manual key. There's other manual keys like a cootie key or a side swiper. It has a single lever, and it's wired so that no matter whether you push it left or right, it's closing the key, just like two straight keys back to back. And you manually make the letters just like you would with a straight key. A semi-automatic key is called a bug, and that's because Vibraplex logo has a bug on it, like a beetle, and they started calling them bugs. But a bug, when you push on the right-hand side of the finger pieces, it makes manual DAWs. On the left-hand side, there's a pendulum with a weight on it that's adjustable for the speed, and it goes dit-dit-dit-dit-dit-dit, so it's a semi-automatic key. And then there's the keyer in the radio, and you hook your paddle to it, an iambic paddle, and the iambic paddle is fully automatic. When you push on the left side, dit-dit-dit-dit-dit, push on the right side, da-da-da-da-da, so you have to manipulate your fingers to make the correct sound.
Thank you, Kelly. I had often wondered where the term bug came from, and you just explained it. Thanks very much for that. Okay, let's open it up to Please come now with your call sign if you have a question for any of the team tonight regarding our study and getting the group going up for Morse code. Please come now with your call sign.
Yeah, this is KG5EGD with a quick question.
Super, KT5UTD, go ahead with your question, please, sir.
KG5EGD, I was just wondering, does anybody know when there's going to be a new ham shop, repair shop here in Houston? New ham shop.
You're asking about like a ham radio store, like HRO ham radio outlet, which is up in the Dallas area? Are you talking about when you're saying repair, a place where you could take a radio to a repair shop and get a broken radio fixed? Is that, which one of those are you asking about?
About getting your radio repaired and fixed. That's what it just hadn't been one here in a while, and I'd like to know if somebody else is going to open up another repair store.
Kelly, I'm going to turn that one over to you. I have an idea that you might be able to answer the gentleman's question.
This is 85II. Let me look in my wallet. I think I have a place. It's in San Antonio though. It's I want to say it's hamrepair.com, but let me look for it here real quick.
While you're looking for that info, Kelly, let's take another. Anyone else have a question for the Morse code team tonight? Please come now with your call sign.
This is Whiskey 5 Bravo Charlie. Bill.
Oh, great to hear you, Whiskey 5 Bravo Charlie. What's your question for the team tonight?
Yeah, good evening, and nice presentation. I don't have Zoom set up, but your discussion has been very good. I enjoy it, and my question is basically, are you going to do CW practice on the air, either via 2 meters or via HF, or what?
K5LK, do you have an answer for the gentleman?
Hey, Bill, good question. The group has been discussing that. Let me turn it over to Kelly or Bill 4.5. The E5I or K9IKK, can you answer that? I know we've been discussing it, but that's probably going to be down the road a little bit. We're going to get these Zoom sessions going. Kelly, why don't you go ahead and answer Bill's question?
Okay, Bill, thanks for the question. We've been discussing it, but we're probably not prepared to give training from I know nothing to somewhere down the line. There's so many good people out there and good programs out there that are way better prepared to teach. I pretty much pounded it in my head with the American Radio Relay League cassette tapes way back in the day. Just about wore out the cassette player, rewinding and re-listening to different things. But I would encourage you to look for Long Island CW Club. They're probably better at it than we are, but we are prepared to later on. I would love to see a little slow speed, medium speed, whatever you want to call it, a local net. Probably going to have to do it on 80 meters. Unfortunately, because of radio wave propagation, we may be able to do something on 40, 2 meter FM, simplex, something like that. It's going to be, each person is going to be a separate case. Over.
Okay, W5BC here. Yeah, okay. I was just curious because I know years ago over here in the Beaumont vicinity, we used to do code, assuming that they were either up on the code or pretty well along with it. We would practice letters and numbers and punctuation on the local. Well, actually, I think it was on 5.2 simplex over here because we weren't covering a very large area. But then later on, we got to where we was actually sending code back and forth. Using Morse code, but over voice channel, as they say. But it was fun, and then, it kind of died out, and then with no code, well, that all disappeared. W5BC, back to net. Thank you, guys.
Another comment.
Thank you, Bill. Appreciate it.
That's exactly.
Hey, Kelly, I've got another question just came in. Actually, a two-part question. Parks on the Air, the Crossroads gang just does an excellent job just, doing the Parks on the Air all the time. If somebody was really wanting to check out CW, is that something that is one of the modes of operation that usually takes place at any of the Crossroads Parks on the Air? Would that be a way somebody could come out and check out CW? And also, any of the game, would you agree that QRP and CW kind of go hand in hand? That's my two-part question.
Have a lot of fun because it is definitely one way you can have a lot of fun.
Great double, guys.
Does the other guy go first? This is W5BSA with tonight's TechNet. My question for any of the CW gang, Crossroads is very active in POTA, activating POTAs, state parks on the air. So if somebody wants to check out CW or maybe even operate, when we activate parks on the air locations, is code one of the things that's usually taking place out at parks on the air events?
Is it taking place now or what?
He comes out to a POTA event that Crossroads is sponsoring. It's one of the stations usually set up, to use Morse code, use CW.
Not to my knowledge. The only time I went out to, I forget what that park was over there in Goliad, and I took my little 5-watt QRP rig and hooked it up to W5 CPO, Phil's NFED halfway that he just built, and I made 10 contacts in CW and activated the park with my call sign. For the other fellow that had the image radio repair question, hamrepair.com is in San Antonio, and they are very good at getting radios in and out. So just go to hamrepair.com and they will help you out.
Appreciate that.
All right, again, here we are with Crossroads TechNet tonight. My correction, TechNet number 32. And tonight's topic is about CW, Morse code, and the Crossroad team members that are putting together some CW training. We just had a great presentation about the history of Morse code and people that were involved in that. And so let's take another round of anybody that has a question for the team tonight about Morse code or anything ham-related, as closely as related as possible to CW. Please come now with your call sign. Let's see what your question might be. Hearing none.
Hey, Joe,
so the team members that are kicking the kickoff for tonight, do y'all have any additional information you'd like to share with the group before we take one last round of check-ins and call it good?
RIW, yes, K5LK. Okay, I think I'm stepping on somebody. Let me turn it over to Bill, 4.5 there, K99KK. You got any comments, Bill, from what you've seen so far?
Yes, this is Bill, 4.5, K99KK, and I'm sensing there is a lot of excitement out there for people doing things with the code, and going back now, I remember that my first worked all states was done on CW QRP 20 meters, so I got all those endorsements on my first worked all states award. And I had a little 2.5 watt, I think it was a Ten-Tech monobander. It was a 20 meter only, a little dial. It was analog, there was no digital readout. And I usually either ran it to a ham stick on the car or just some random wire, like 20 feet of wire, sometimes indoors. And a little battery and a straight key. And it's a lot of fun. There's a lot of others, and there's a lot of what they call sprint contests that you can do with the code. So these are short contests during the week that last to maybe 2-4 hours max, and a lot of the CW guys hang out on there. And the other thing that I forgot to mention is that the CW bands are usually a lot less crowded, so it's a lot more relaxed and easier to have a nice rag chew than fighting all the noise and so forth on the sideband. So good net, and bring on the questions. This is K9IKK, back to who's ever in control.
All right, I'll try my hand at that control part again. This is Joe, W5BSA with tonight's TechNet. So I've got a question that really comes from almost 40 years ago when I was novice. When somebody learns the code and they're ready to actually get on the air, isn't it a proper procedure not to transmit any faster than you can receive? And are there still, cooperative hams out there that will slow down to help the newcomer? Is that still kind of a true statement?
E5II. Yes, it is customary to, if you hear someone calling CQ, you answer them at the speed that they are transmitting at. Also, if you get on the air and because of nerves or whatever, and you're sending faster than you can receive, that's a bad situation. You don't want to get into that situation. Start out slow, and so if you send CQ a little bit slower than you can copy, then somebody's going to answer you at your speed. Also, just to let everybody know, the other night, actually, I think it was the day of 4th of July, in 24 hours, I did a complete, total sweep of all 13 colonies and the bonus stations except Great Britain. I didn't get Great Britain, but it still counts as a full sweep, and they have a beautiful certificate to hang on the wall. And just because it's 250 years, I'm going to get that one and put that one on my I Love Me wall.
Oh, that's very cool, Kelly. Thanks for sharing. Very cool. You know what? I'm going to put, hey, Jim, AI5EG. Do you use the code very often? I have an idea you do. And what do you love most about the code over the years that you've used it? I have an idea that you do.
Thanks for putting me on the spot. And by the way, Kelly, I got them all. I'm assuming you did CW, and I literally got them all. The Great Britain. Those guys must be pretty butthurt. They're pretty hard to get, but I did get him, I think, yesterday. So, I like working in contests. I like facing DX. A little bit of, getting on and having a conversation with different hams. And the thing I love about CW, with the narrow bandwidth, you don't have to have the monster amplifier to work rare stations. You can work it. You can be very crafty, I would say, with your operating skill, and it's kind of fun to do that. Catch those rare stations. And working POTA, working special event stations is a great way to do your work on your CW. It's very casual. You don't have to be stressed out about making a long talk or anything like that. It's a great way to get things rolling. So, yeah, I enjoy the CW. You don't need an amp like I've got over here over my shoulder. That's a AL 1500 full legal limit CW that I'm repairing for a silent key. And it might go up for sale if anybody's interested in it a little bit later on. Anyway, AF5EG, back to that.
Thanks very much, Jim. Appreciate your feedback. I knew I could count on you. All right. Well, guys, I think we're just doing a meeting recap here real quick. I think I'm going to close the RF portion of the net and invite everybody to come, because we're going to be around on Zoom for a little bit longer. So before I close, does anybody have anything to say about tonight's net or any information, questions? Oh, by the way, we got a ham fest coming up this coming Saturday. It's the Todd Lynn's Amateur Radio Club. Great single day ham fest. That's down in Texas City. It's only a one day. They say you really need to be there at 7 when it opens, because by 11:30 it's over. But it's usually a pretty good turnout, and they usually have some pretty good programs down there. And that's this coming Saturday morning, the Todd Lynn's Texas City Ham Fest. So with that said, one last call for anybody that's got anything for the net tonight before we go over to the Zoom session to close it out from there.
IR, just wanted to get on the payroll.
All right, you chop. So to get you on the payroll, give me your full call sign again. I'm sorry.
This is Paul in Moody, Texas. November 5, November, India, Romeo.
Gotcha, Paul. Anybody else that just wants to get their name on the log before we close it out? This is the last opportunity. Come now. Hearing nothing, I want to thank the all the bills, bill number 1, bill number 9, and bill number 4.5, and Mr. Kelly and all the TechNet CW team for TechNet number 32. I'm going to go ahead and close the RF portion of tonight's Crossroad Ham Radio Club TechNet number 32, and hope to see everybody over on Zoom. Good night, everybody, and God bless from W5BSA.
You have been listening to a TechNet presentation of the Crossroads Ham Radio Club. For more information on this club, go to www.crhrc.org. For information on upcoming TechNets, go to technet.crhrc.org.